Well, Tom Burke is the chairman and founding director of the environmental think tank E3G, and he joins me in the studio. So, the country voted blue. Did we go green?
We didn't go green. I think the coalition was a bit greener than the present government, but even in the coalition, for instance, we didn't get our air pollution right, so London's now facing very big fines. And what we've seen most recently is the Chancellor taking a shotgun to David Cameron's Husky.
Well, the argument that I presume, indeed, that's a wonderful image there, the argument I think would be made by both the Office of the Prime Minister and indeed the Treasury would be that one has to prioritise, and once the economy gets sorted out, we'll return to a direct focus on environmental issues.
I think they're making a very false choice between the economy and the environment. We're seeing pretty well all of the world's leaders standing up in Paris on the issue of climate change and saying it's not a choice between economic development and the economy. And actually, the bit of the economy that the Chancellor has just wrecked was the fastest growing bit of the economy, growing at about 10% a year. That was the green economy. It employs 450,000 people, more than aerospace, automotive and chemicals together, and he's just simply taken a sledgehammer and smashed it.
There will, of course, always be those who suggest that those comments, you know, hugging a husky and all the rest of it, before the 2010 general election was all about changing the window dressing of the party. At the same time, surely we wouldn't be as close to agreement in Paris if the UK government hadn't thrown its weight behind it.
I think that's right, and I think that the Prime Minister actually was very well-meaning on the climate, more than just for PR and techniques, and he's intervened, to my knowledge, at least 3 times in the process to make sure that we didn't backslide. But I'm afraid he's somewhat been overtaken by the activities of his Chancellor, who really has not only shot his Husky, but has really undermined Britain's reputation as a leader on climate change.
Does part of the blame not ultimately also fall onto the electorate for not grasping that these environmental issues, climate change and the like, require a generation-long response? That if the public really wanted green issues at the top of the agenda, that's exactly where they would be?
I think it's always easy to call for a better electorate when you have a problem. We've got the electorate we've got, and actually what's really interesting is when you poll it, it's very clear that what it wants is action on climate change, and actually what it wants is renewable energy and energy efficiency, not nuclear and gas and the kind of things the government has now committed itself to.
It's very interesting indeed. Well, we wait to see exactly what emerges from Paris. But Tom Burke, thank you very much for joining us in the studio today. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Plenty still to come here on Sky News.